Hi, welcome back. We're continuing through the Bible. Today we start our fourth book, Leviticus. And today on day 44, we're going to read Leviticus 1 through 44. This is going to be all about the different types of offerings that the Lord required back in this day. And thankfully, we live in a time when Jesus has come and he was the ultimate sacrifice. So we don't have to follow these laws, but I think it's a really good reminder so we can keep our focus on Jesus and be grateful for what he's done for us and the type of work he saved us from. Father God, I praise you so much for your word, and I just praise you so much for this opportunity and privilege to be able to share it. There's so many around the world, Lord, who are being killed and beheaded for studying your word, and I just pray that we wouldn't take it for granted and that we would spend time in your word and just get to know you better on the pages of this amazing book. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, here we go. Burnt offerings, Leviticus 1. And the Lord called unto Moses and spake unto him out of the tabernacle of the congregation, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, If any man of you bring an offering unto the Lord, you will bring your offering of the cattle, even of the herd and of the flock. And if his offering be a burnt sacrifice of the herd, let him offer a male without blemish. He will offer it of his own voluntary will at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Lord. And he shall put his hand upon the head of the burnt offering, and it will be accepted for him to make atonement. And he will kill the bullock before the Lord, and the priest, Aaron's son, shall bring the blood and sprinkle the blood round about the altar that is by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he shall flay the burnt offering and cut it into pieces, and the sons of Aaron the priest which shall put upon the altar and lay upon the wood and order upon the fire, and the priest, Aaron's son, shall lay the parts, the head, the fat, and order upon the wood that is on the fire which is upon the altar, but his inwards and his legs shall he wash in water, and the priest will burn all on the altar to be a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire of sweet savor unto the Lord. And if his offering be of the flocks, namely of the sheep or of the goats, for a burnt sacrifice, he shall bring it a male without blemish, and kill it on the side of the altar northward before the Lord. And the priest, Aaron's son, shall sprinkle his blood round about the altar, and cut it in pieces with its head and its fat, and the priest shall lay them in order on the wood that is on the fire which is upon the altar. But he shall wash the inwards and the legs with water, and the priest shall bring it all and burn it upon the altar. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire of sweet savor unto the Lord. And if the burnt sacrifice for his offering to the Lord be of fowls or birds, he shall bring his offering of turtle doves or of young pigeons, and the priest shall bring it on the altar and wring off its head and burn it on the altar, and the blood thereof shall be wrung out on the side of the altar, and pluck away his crop with his feathers, and cast it beside the altar on the east part by the place of the ashes. And he shall cleave it with the wings thereof, but not divide it asunder, and the priest shall burn it upon the altar, upon the wood that is upon the fire. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire of sweet savor unto the Lord. Leviticus 2, meal offerings. And when any will offer a meat offering unto the Lord, his offering shall be a fine flour, and he shall pour oil upon it and frankincense. And he shall bring it to Aaron the priest, Aaron's sons the priest, and he shall take out a handful of the flour and of the oil with the frankincense, and the priest shall burn a memorial of it upon the altar to be an offering made by fire of sweet savor unto the Lord. And the remnant of the meat offering shall be Aaron's and his sons, as the thing most holy of the offerings of the Lord made by fire. And if thou bring an oblation of a meat offering baked in the oven, it will be unleavened cakes of fire, flour mingled with oil, or unleavened wafers anointed with oil. And if thy oblation be a meat offering baked in a pan, it will be of the flour unleavened, mingled with oil, and thou shalt part it in pieces, and pour oil thereon. It is a meat offering. And if thy oblation be a meat offering baked in the frying pan, it shall be made of fine flour with oil, and thou shalt bring the meat offering that is made of these things unto the Lord when it is presented unto the priest, and he shall bring it unto the altar. And the priest shall take from the meat offering a memorial thereof and burn it upon the altar. It's an offering made by fire of sweet savor unto the Lord. And that which is left of the meat offering shall be Aaron's sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of the Lord made by fire. No meat offering which you will bring unto the Lord shall be made with leaven, for ye shall burn no leaven nor any honey in any offering of the Lord made by fire. As for the oblation of the first fruits, you shall offer them unto the Lord. But they shall not be burnt on the altar for a sweet savor, and every oblation of thy meat offering shall thou season with salt. Neither shall thou suffer the salt of the covenant with thy God to be lacking from any meat offering. With all thine offerings you will offer salt. And if you will offer meat offering of thy firstfruits unto the Lord, thou shalt offer for the meat offering of the firstfruits green ears of corn, dried by the fire, even corn beaten out of full ears, and thou shalt put oil upon it and lay frankincense thereon. It is a meat offering, and the priest shall burn the memorial of it, part of the corn beaten thereof, and part of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense. It is an offering made by fire unto the Lord. Leviticus 3. Peace offerings. And if his oblation be a sacrifice of peace offering, if he offer it of the herd, whether it be male or female, he shall offer it without blemish before the Lord, and he shall lay his hand upon the head of his offering and kill it at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And Aaron's sons, the priest, shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about, and he shall offer of the sacrifice of the peace offering an offering made by fire unto the Lord. The fat that covers the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the two kidneys, and the fat that is on them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver, and the kidneys, he will take away. And Aaron's son shall burn it on the altar upon the burnt sacrifice, which is upon the wood, which is on the fire. It's an offering made by fire of sweet savor unto the Lord. And it is, if his offering for a sacrifice of peace offering unto the Lord be of the flock, male or female, he shall offer it without blemish, which is a picture of Jesus. Jesus was without blemish. And if he offer a lamb for his offering, he will offer it before the Lord, and he will lay his hand upon the head of his offering and kill it before the tabernacle of the congregation. And Aaron's son shall sprinkle the blood thereof round about the altar. And he shall offer of the sacrifice of the peace offering of an offering made by fire unto the Lord, the fat thereof, the whole rump. He shall take it off hard by the backbone, and the fat that covers the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the two kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver with the kidneys, it will take away. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar as the food of the offering made by fire unto the Lord. And if his offering be a goat, he shall offer it before the Lord, and he shall lay his hand upon the head of it and kill it before the tabernacle of the congregation. And the sons of Aaron shall sprinkle the blood thereof on the altar round about, and he shall offer thereon his offering, an offering made by fire unto the Lord. A fat that covers the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the two kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver, and the kidneys, he will take away. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar. It is a food of the offering made by fire for a sweet savor. All the fat is the Lord's. It will be a perpetual statute for your generations throughout your dwellings, that you eat neither fat nor blood. And my understanding is back then, fat was very, 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 very special. You would save it from off the animals, and they used it. Like even 100 years ago, we used to cook with lard, which is from an animal. Now we can just buy a can of Crisco or butter off the shelf, but back then you had to hold on to these things. And so giving it to the Lord was giving something valuable. And he says not to eat the blood. Life is in the blood. Idolatrous people drink blood, and it's been a law of the Lord from the beginning. It'll get repeated a lot that people are not to drink blood. And some people do it in this day and age even, which is really gross. Leviticus 4, sin offerings. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If a soul shall sin through ignorance against any of the commandments of the Lord concerning things which ought not be done, and shall do any of them, if the priest that is anointed to do sin according to the sin of the people, then let him bring for him sin, which he hath sinned, a young bullock without blemish, unto the Lord for a sin offering. And he shall bring the bullock unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Lord, and lay his head upon the bullock's head, and kill the bullock before the Lord. And the priest that is anointed shall take of the bullock's blood, and bring it to the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall dip his finger in the blood, and sprinkle of the blood 7 times before the Lord, before the veil of the sanctuary. And the priest shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar of sweet incense before the Lord, which is in the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall pour all the blood of the bullock at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he shall take from it all the fat of the bullock for the sin offering, the fat that covers the inwards, and all the fat that is on the inwards, and 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver, with the kidneys he will take away, as it was taken from the bullock of the sacrifice of peace offerings, and the priest shall burn them upon the altar of the burnt offering. And the skin of the bullock and his flesh with his head and with his legs and with his inwards and with his dung, even his whole bullock, shall he carry forth without the camp to a clean place where the ashes are poured out, and burn him on the wood with fire where the ashes are poured out shall he be burnt. And if the whole congregation of Israel sin through ignorance, and the thing be hid from the eyes of the assembly, and they have done somewhat against any of the commandments of the Lord concerning things which should be done, and are guilty, when the sin which they have sinned is known, the congregation shall offer a young bullock for the sin and bring him before the tabernacle of the congregation. And the elders of the congregation shall lay their hands upon the head of the bullock before the Lord, and the bullock shall be killed before the Lord. And the priest that is anointed shall bring of the bullock's blood to the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall dip his finger in some of the blood and sprinkle it 7 times before the Lord, even before the veil. And he shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar, which is before the Lord, that is in the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall pour out all the blood at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he shall take all his fat from him and burn it on the altar. And he shall do with the bullock as he did with the bullock for a sin offering. So shall he do with this. And the priest shall make an atonement for them, and it shall be forgiven them. And he shall carry the bullock without the camp and burn him as he burned his first bullock. It is a sin offering for the congregation. When a ruler sins and has done somewhat through ignorance against any of the commandments of the Lord concerning the things which should not be done, and is guilty, or if his sin wherein he hath sinned come to his knowledge, he shall bring his offering, a kid of the goats, a male without blemish, and he shall lay his hand upon the head of the goat and kill it in the place where they kill the burnt offering before the Lord. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger and put it on the horns of the altar of the burnt offering, and shall pour out his blood at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, and shall burn all his fat upon the altar as the fat of the sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall make atonement for him as concerning his sin, and it shall be forgiven him. And if any one of the common people sin through ignorance, while he doeth somewhat against any of the commandments of the Lord concerning things which ought not to be done, and be guilty, or if his sin which he has sinned hath come to his knowledge, and he shall bring his offering, a kid of the goats, a female without blemish, for his sin which he has sinned, and he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and slay the sin offering in the place of the burnt offering. And the priest shall take of the blood thereof with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar upon the burnt offering, and pour out the blood thereof at the bottom of the altar. And he shall take away the fat that is away from the sacrifice of peace offerings, and the priest shall burn it upon the altar for a sweet savor unto the Lord. And the priest shall make atonement for him, and it will be forgiven him. And if he bring a lamb for a sin offering, he shall bring a female without blemish, and lay his head upon the head of the sin offering, and slay it for a sin offering in the place where they kill the burnt offering. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of the burnt offering, and shall pour out all the blood at the bottom of the altar. And he shall take away the fat, as the fat of the lamb is taken away from the sacrifice of the peace offerings. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar according to the offerings made by fire unto the Lord. And the priest shall make an atonement for his sin that he hath committed, and it shall be forgiven him. And this is a lot. It's a lot for me. A lot of killing, a lot of death, a lot of blood. But what I'm thinking about is how Jesus came and was our ultimate sacrifice. And he shed blood for us so that we don't have to raise and kill all of our own animals. And back in this day and age, people farmed and raised animals, and you raised it from the time it was a baby. And I have animals on my farm, and the thought of killing any of them kind of stresses me out, which makes me a bad farmer. But I think about all this, and I think about how maybe if we were still in this sacrificial system, would we take sin a little more seriously? Because it's easy in this time of grace to kind of be like, oh, well, Jesus took all my sin and I'm forgiven, which we are, but we're not supposed to take it for granted, as Paul says. So we're under the law of liberty, which means that, God has set us free. Jesus set us free, coming and dying on the cross. But that doesn't mean that we just get to sin willy nilly and do whatever we want, because it hurts God's heart when we do that. So anyway, I hope you're getting something out of it. Leviticus is kind of dry for me, but it is here for a reason. And we are just going to keep our focus on the Lord and help him to guide these words so that we get out of it what he would have us get out of it. With that, be blessed. See you soon. Bye.